Friends, there was a time when every facility was decided based on skin color, whether it was a seat on the bus or any public service. Everywhere, the white people were given the best facilities, while the black people got the worst. Although this was happening in many countries to varying degrees, in South Africa the situation was extreme. 3/4 of South Africa's population were black, and the entire economy of the country ran on their hard work. But still, all the good facilities were reserved for the white population. Although racial discrimination had existed in South Africa for a long time, in 1948 the government led by the National Party made it a law that black and white people would live separately, and even public facilities would be divided based on race. But as history has shown us, good always triumphs over evil. The struggles of Nelson Mandela brought an end to these cruel apartheid laws and ensured equal rights for all. But this was not easy. Nelson Mandela had to spend nearly 28 years of his life in prison to make this happen. He did this without taking up arms and without spilling blood. So, friends, let's start from the beginning and learn more about this great man. Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1918 in the village of Mvizo, South Africa. His mother's name was Nosekini, and his father's name was Gadla Henry. At birth, his family named him Ralilala, which means troublemaker, but his school teacher later gave him the name Nelson, which stayed with him for life. Mandela completed his early education at Clarkberry Missionary School. When Mandela was 12 years old, his father passed away. But because he lived in a joint family, he never felt completely alone. His family supported him and helped him continue his education because Mandela was the only child in the family who went to school. He completed his graduation at Helltown College, which was specially built for black students. At this college, Mandela met Oliver Tambo, who remained his lifelong friend and companion in the fight against apartheid. Even during his college days, Mandela had started raising his voice against racial discrimination. He began uniting people for the cause, which eventually got him expelled from the college. In 1944, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC, which had already started a movement against racial discrimination. By 1947, he became the secretary of the party. Slowly, more and more people began joining him, and they were moving closer to their goal. But in 1961, a case of treason was filed against Mandela and some of his friends, and they were imprisoned. Although they were later declared innocent and released, Mandela was again arrested on August 5, 1962 for inciting workers to go on strike. After nearly 2 years of trial, on July 12, 1964, he was sentenced to life imprisonment and sent to one of the most high-security prisons. But even in prison, Mandela did not lose courage. He kept reminding black prisoners of their rights. Meanwhile, his party kept making efforts to get him released, but they were unsuccessful. Mandela remained in prison for a total of 27 long years. Finally, in 1989, there was a change in South Africa's government. Liberal leader F.W. de Klerk became the president of the country. Seeing the struggle of Mandela and his party, he removed all restrictions on black people and announced the release of all political prisoners who were not accused of violent crimes. And so, on February 1, 1990, Nelson Mandela finally walked free, after spending more than a quarter of his life behind bars. In 1994, South Africa held its first election in which black citizens could vote. Mandela contested the election, and his party, the African National Congress, won with a majority. On May 10, 1994, Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa, and he ensured equal rights for both blacks and whites. Mandela was deeply inspired by Mahatma Gandhi and considered him his ideal, which is why he was often called the Gandhi of Africa. In 1993, Mandela was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts to bring peace and equality to the world. Mandela spent his entire life fighting against racial discrimination. After giving black South Africans their rightful freedom, he passed away on December 5, 2013, at the age of 95. Mandela once said, When a man has done what he considers to be his duty to his people and his country, he can rest in peace. Friends, thank you for giving your valuable time to listen to this story. If you like this video, don't forget to like it, and for more motivational stories, do subscribe to our channel.